All done racing. I made a video earlier this evening, but I didn't have any Wi-Fi at the track, and I'm chewing up all my data, so I kind of had to wait till I get home to load the video. So this is a little follow-up. As I did the video earlier, we did not race I'm a Lovely Lady. We did not race Mama Knows Best. The 3 horses in Indiana, yet we hadn't got to them, and I forgot to talk about a horse that really bothered me a lot today. Was War We Welcome. I talked to Hunter afterwards. He said, she was hot and bothered at the gate, throwing her head, and he said when he tried to back her off the gate, she threw her head again and made a break. I guess we could add a martingale to her. I think she was just being a little ornery today, maybe a little sharp coming off 2 wins, maybe a little angry, I'm not sure, but should have made a break today at the Meadows, and she did. It seemed to be the theme of the day. Poor Travis Henry drove 5 hours to race Britska, made a break behind the gate, which is uncommon. He didn't do that here. I know he made a break before down the backstretch, but I don't think we remember making a break at the gate. He certainly felt great to me last week, but 55 flat, he just can't trot 55, and now we're seeing where the rubber meets the road, where those extra seconds mean a lot, and it shows up on the track. Britska's not trotting in 55. So we're going to have to make a decision. I think we're probably going to race him in the maiden claimer here, and at some point we're going to have to sell him, and that may make, it seems to be the same trend in people this time of year. A couple people are getting incensed about horses being moved, but I can't stress this enough. If we had to just race the horses, if War We Welcome, she's coming off 2 wins. If she doesn't make a break and finishes 3rd, Mama 2nd, I'm a Lovely Lady wins, and then That's My Girl, who is good enough, makes that break in the place she made that break last year on me or Doug, one or the other, or both, it's not the end of the world. But when you start throwing other horses into the mix, West 52nd getting beat up at Harrington, fine, I'll give you a bye for a week or 2. I'll give you a pass. But if he's not going to do, he's going to be on the block also as a 4 or 5-year-old. 5-year-old, I guess. But that's 2 starts into this year. Relax. Fox Valley Britska making a break. It's just these things. If you go on the track with horses with long odds, you're not going to be super successful at the track. That's the reality of it. And I know everybody loves the adage, they don't know what their odds are. Well, they do. They just are going to find out in the race why they're that way. So Fox Valley Britska likely will be sold in the next 3 weeks. West 52nd, I haven't talked to Jim, and I have no idea how the classification works. Is there a class there for him where he can race more consistently? Maybe he just threw in a bad mile. I've seen this horse do this before. Fine, you get a pass. War We Welcome made a break at the gate. Okay, you get a pass. She's not going to be long for the United States anyway. She'll be heading back to Ontario probably when the next load comes over. And there will be a load coming over, as I said today, with Harlan L., Duke Dio for sure. And I'm still tossing around the idea of Barbie, although I want to see how she trains tomorrow at Mohawk. Harry has her slated to go over tomorrow. So, War We Welcome, again, you got to stay trotting. She doesn't usually make a break, so it's more angering than anything, and it happens, but it's done now and over with. That's My Girl, same thing, frustrating animal. Qualified great here, schooled great here, raced great here last year, raced great at the Meadows, go to Indiana, and she looks like a hog. Well, we'll requalify her, race her in the maiden here, and then take her back down. I think if she's out in the flow or doesn't get jammed up, it's not Travis's fault. He gave the filly a great trip, left, sat in the pocket, got doubled up right in a place when she can make a break, and she did. So that's unfortunate. What else do we have? I'm a Lovely Lady race, fantastic. Got away in the 2-hole. I knew I was a winner the entire way. Never dawned on me for a second that she wasn't going to inhale that horse. I didn't pull the earplugs. I dipped her down in the passing lane, snapped the wheel disc once, and she was gone. She is starting to look fantastic. Now, Mama Knows Best ran down a little bit last week. For those of you who aren't horsemen, that's when there's dirt on their hind ankles. They can run down sometimes. And we went back to the shoes we had on her last year. The blacksmith had said to Jason, hey, we had aluminums that were a little longer on her last year. Why don't we go back to that? As soon as I scored her down, she didn't seem as comfortable. Now, her overall mile was good, and I don't think it was much different than last week. Different crew, different way. Great trip. She ended up with a great trip. Both of them did. But felt a little more uncomfortable. So I said to Jason, go back to the steel shoes, maybe put a little borium on her heels, and we'll put rundown patches on her. We'll go that route for now. Very happy with her race. Now the question with her and I'm a Lovely Lady, 6-7 starts, do we keep going with them? As I said to Jason, yes. I think their confidence is ballooning. You know, both of them are getting cocky, learning how to race properly. Mama Knows Best is not washing out. Aside from being a little agitated tonight, overall she was well behaved and very professional. I'm a Lovely Lady. Couldn't ask her to be on it. I don't think she's ever been better in her entire life than she was tonight. And that mile in 58 might not have reflected it, but make no mistake, she could trot in 56 right now at Northfield Park. Happy with those two. War We Welcome, as I said, give you a bye, give you a pass. West 52nd, I'll give you a pass also. That's my girl. A little frustrating. I could see what took place and how she made a break. Fine. The other two colts aren't good enough. So they'll hang out around here. Fox Valley Brits go race in the maiden. Italian Grit will race in the maiden. May actually send Italian Grit home to Ontario. Travis loves this horse, gets along really good with him. If he wants to and if he likes him, I'll give him an option to maybe buy into him, take him back to Ontario with him. Fox Valley Britska, different situation, right? I don't think there's classes the same classification. I don't think he's as good as Italian Grit. And that's a bad place to be in. There is a class here for him, but he is running out of classes. That's those two. Now, tomorrow, I am going to school without the hobbles on, Path of Totality, here at Northfield Park. If she's good as I suspect she is, she's going to the Meadows next week. We are going to have a little bit of a juggling problem. I'm a Lovely Lady 1 tonight. She's up where Mama Knows Best goes. Can the race office find a way to get them both in? Do we have to race one of them in Pennsylvania? What are we going to do moving forward? Just got to maneuver our pieces around the chessboard. But most importantly, again, we have to take a step back tonight and say, okay, who fits into the stable? Who does not? Is there a path forward for those horses? If so, is there multiple paths? What do they look like? And if not, what do we do moving forward? So that's where we're at right now. I think overall, not a great day. But when you look at specific cases, as I said, the horses here in Ohio were fantastic tonight. That's my girl. I could see where she got jammed up and made a break. I think she can do very well in that class. We need her to stay trotting. I'm actually toying with the idea of maybe leaving her down there, but she fits the maiden here also, and still can race in those what are they called, mini series all year. Italian Grit and Fox Valley Britska will not be attending Hoosier Park for the stable.ca any longer. They're simply not good enough to do there. So we'll race Fox Valley Britska and Italian Grit in the maiden here. We may actually look at sending Italian Grit back to Ontario, but Fox Valley Britska will likely race here a couple of starts and be sold. I know Mike and his wife love Fox Valley Britska, but at the end of the day, it's no different than any other horse. We have to be able to find ways forward for them. There's a couple of paths, but they're narrow and they're not well lit. So we'll try and get them back here and get them back in to go where they can do. So that is tonight in a nutshell. As I said, Path of Totality is schooling tomorrow. She's looking to make her first start of the year at... First start of the year? Yes, first start of the year. First start of the year at the Meadows next week. Spirit of Dio. You might see her surface also. There's some classes for Spirit of Dio, and quite frankly, one that I'm eyeing that she definitely fits is the Open fillies and mares they've been filling at Scioto Downs recently. So we have some races for her. She has a race at the Meadows. She's a couple of races at... I'd like to tighten her with 2 or 3 races and then go take on that open field. But we have paths forward for her too. So all in all, it's been a pretty good week. The training was great today. Any mistakes that were made today will be rectified. The horses that made mistakes last week did not make mistakes today for the most part. I was happy here. By all accounts, we were happy in Ontario, and we will continue on. You likely won't get a video tomorrow, but Friday we got our girls in Philadelphia, and then this week we have some more racing here. So hope you guys had a good day. I had a busy day. I'm leaving now. I'm going back home. Luckily, it's about a 5-minute drive to my house. We'll talk to you all very, very soon. Take care.